Hi everyone, today I wanted to do a quick video. Well, I always say quick, but in the end we'll see how quick it is. But basically I want to do some swatches of those 3 new colors that I ordered from QOR. So those are the 11 ml tubes that I ordered on top of this the high chroma watercolor set. So these were the 6 colors, and then remember I ordered these on Jackson's Art, and then I got this as a sample tube, but it's a 11 ml and it's a very expensive cobalt blue because it's series 4. Now all of these 3 pinks are all series 3, and so they cost me around £14 and a bit each. And so they're quite expensive, and they probably are the most expensive watercolors that I own. So I'm going to do a few things today. So I'm going to swatch these. I'm going to show you these watercolors in action. Here I've drawn out some geranium petals, so you'll see what they look like when you draw with them. So I'll start with a transparency test, and I've squeezed out these 3 watercolors here. So the top one is quinacridone red, then we have permanent alizarin crimson and quinacridone crimson. So I just squeezed these watercolors a couple of minutes ago, so they're relatively fresh. So I'm going to go in and do the first one. So I always start with a nice punch of color because I love to use watercolor that way. And that is it. So at the moment it's a bit much water here, so the watercolor is being pushed out, so I'm going to push it back. You can see it flows straight back. So the color disperse within QOR is quite strong because of their binder, which is the Aquazole. And so yeah, that is why QOR differs from other watercolors. I'm just going to push it back again just to get that nice gradual color difference. So all of these 3 claim to be transparent, so on the tube it says that they're transparent, but as you know, it's always best to do your own transparency test just to know for sure, because you know, depending on how you use the watercolor, what brush you use, what paper you use, things might look different. So I washed out the brush. You can see how the color moves very quickly. So one thing to say, although it's a beautiful watercolor, lately I have been learning how to use how to paint in botanical art, and I realized that basically this color is a little bit challenging for that, just because they're kind of staining, and so they're hard to remove. And pinks are always more staining than other colors. Look at this beautiful, rich, deep color. So yes, they're very vibrant, super vibrant in fact, and as you can see, the color disperse is fantastic. So if that's something you're looking for, then you can see it shoots right back. Okay, so I can see that all 3 of them are completely transparent. I think I'm going to zoom in for you, so you can see there is no issue whatsoever. Now the other thing I'm going to quickly mention is this. These 2, quinacridone red and permanent alizarin crimson, are both single pigments, so PV19 and PR 177. Now the quinacridone crimson is a 2 pigment color, It's the PR 122 and PR 206. Their light fastness is great because they have quite high numbers. So basically, the first one is, let's have a look. So this one, the quinacridone red, is rated by the ASTM, and the rating is of 1, which is the top rating, so it's very good. Then the other two, then they don't seem to be ASTM rated, but their rating is good and excellent. So it seems to be that you don't need to worry about your colors to diminish with time. But so let's start and paint. So I'm going to do a little glaze first, because it's a very kind of color that moves a lot, the watercolor. I'm just going to do the glaze on certain areas. You can see how quickly, oh gosh, that was very useful. Here you go. So you can see now how quickly the color shoots into the water. So I only put the glaze in the areas that I want the color to move to, because that's kind of giving me a hard edge already, as you can see, so you need to be aware of that. And in botanical art, that would make it a bit harder to work with. Also, you will see in a second that it is quite staining, because now when I'm going to try and soften the edges, you'll see that in some cases it's very hard to do that. So I'm just going to go in like that and let the watercolor move. So you can see a lot of movement there. If I want to intensify just a little bit on this corner, I'm going to go in and give it a nice sharp edge right here. So you can see how beautifully the color just shoots into the water. So, and here you could see again, as soon as I added a bit of water, it just kind of moves very quickly. Let's move on to permanent alizarin crimson and do the same thing. Actually, I need to do the glaze first. So let's do the glaze like that. Don't want too much water. So if I would glaze the entire petal, what would happen is that this color, because it's so strong, it would just push completely, and that's not something you want for botanical art, for example. Okay, so quickly now going into the watercolor before it dries out, and there you go. So you can see that it sort of pushes it so hard that the edge is almost the same color as the glazed area that was supposed to move it out. So I'm just going to try and lift some of this and then bringing it to a point. So in terms of lifting, you can see there's only so much you can do. Okay, I'm going to wet this area again and bring this color in again, make it quite deep. So that's that. Now the next one is going to be quinacridone crimson. It's a nice rich color. So now I'm mopping and removing this extra water, and got a bit too much pigment on my brush here. This is gorgeous color. Look at that. You get this sort of veining, which is so beautiful, that I don't want to disturb. I'm going to go with this one right to the end. And then I'm going to try and soften the edge right here. Just because I don't want to disturb it, I'm going to clean up here a little bit on the edge. Like so, and then bring the color down. And then soften the edge. So, out of them three, if I had to pick my favorites, it would have to be obviously the quinacridone red and quinacridone crimson. They're very, very beautiful colors. They pop and they're super vibrant. The permanent alizarin crimson doesn't seem to be as strong as the other two. But just before I go, I thought I will do some lifting, or see how liftable these watercolors are. So I'm going to do a line here, and it doesn't lift too much. Let's try permanent alizarin crimson. Very light movement I got over here. Let me try and do like that here. So the quinacridone red hardly moves. It's very hard to move. And then finally quinacridone crimson. So same thing here, it doesn't move too well, which is sort of to be expected with the pinks. So that's as much as I could lift them. So I want to have a look at trying to glaze with permanent alizarin crimson and seeing if I can get a more intense or vibrant look with it. This looks so good. So I'm just going to touch the edge. As you can see here, I'm touching it and it already looks like it has stained the paper. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. So yes, it definitely seems to intensify it a little bit more when you glaze it. So if they are very pretty pinks. So I hope you found this video useful. It was very quick just to give you an idea of these colors, and if you wanted to, or if you are thinking of purchasing them, hopefully that gave you a better understanding of what the color looked like. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon.